Hello, farmers, and welcome to the harvest season. My name is Al,
And my name is Brittany.
and we're here today to talk about farming games.
Woo!
Sorry, I
Yay.
thought you would have got it by now.
I, I, I don't know why. I had a momentary lapse. Well, so I've been playing around with a different name, Bev. So I was like, should I introduce myself as Brittany or Bev?
Oh.
But it's fine. You get both. You get both now. Hello, farmers.
So what should I call you then?
Bev.
Bev. Okay, there we go. Bev.
Yes.
So, Bev, welcome again.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am tired. Yes. For those who aren't me or Bev, we've been. I'm just back from a holiday at the weekend, so I'm tired, and that's fun. But it's all good because tomorrow I go back to work, and then I can be tired because of work rather than tired because of holiday. So
yay!
it's all good. Anyway, thank you for joining me. It's always good to have you.
Thank you.
Today, our main topic, after all the other bits of the podcast, will be the Animal Crossing New Horizons Fall update. Yeah. So, Bev, what have you been playing?
Other than Animal Crossing, I've been playing.
Yes, I made you play Animal Crossing.
It was a good reason to come back. Okay, I've been gone for so long that was it Mabel no longer gives me patterns, and I'm pretty sad about that.
Oh no, that's so sad.
I have to rebuild that connection. Or Sable, sorry, not
that
Mabel.
trust.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah. So to explain that we had a different topic planned and then decided that this would be a better topic to go with, and so I basically made Bev play the game after you hadn't for ages. Sorry.
Yeah, like a good 6 months. I think I just burnt myself out, I think.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. However, I've been really into it the last couple of weeks, and I don't think that's just because we were doing this topic. I think it's because of the update. But we'll get back into that in the main topic later on in the podcast. There's your hook.
Yeah.
So, we were already doing. What else have you been playing then?
I still haven't been playing much. But I did play a little bit of the All-Stars of Super Mario Sunshine.
Yes.
Love it. It's kind of like a long forgotten friend that I've becoming reacquainted with, and I'm excited to keep playing it.
Yeah. Cool.
How about you?
Yeah, Sunshine's a good game.
It is.
I have obviously been playing some Animal Crossing. Shock horror. And let's see, where was I at the last episode? I think, was I playing Galaxy in the last episode? Mario Galaxy? I think so.
I think so.
So I finished Mario Galaxy, and I am currently in the last couple of levels of New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Ooh.
Trying to remember that name. So that's fun.
That is fun.
I got stuck on one level and then didn't quite manage to finish it before I went on holiday. And of course, I wasn't taking my Wii U on holiday with me.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's a Wii U game, not a regular Wii game?
No, it's a Wii game, but I'm playing it on my Wii U because I don't like to play things on the TV most of the time, because me and my wife tend to spend a lot of time watching shows together. So I've been playing it on the gamepad rather than on the TV.
Okay.
So
I think that was
it's
the
not
start of
great.
On the Wii Pad?
Yeah, it's not great because there's a lag sometimes. So like I'll be jumping up and then it lags and then I'm dead.
Oh no.
2D platformers and lags are a bad combination. But I'm nearly there.
That's a different level of difficulty, right? could look at it that way.
Yeah, a level I didn't want. Like, yeah, sure. Having someone knock the controller out my hands every 5 minutes would also add a different level of difficulty.
Yeah. I think that game was the start of me not finishing games. Because I played it, I recall playing it in college, but I don't recall finishing it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
very close to finishing it, and then I can move on to Galaxy 2,
Good.
which... Because I can't even play that one on my Switch. I have to play that one with the Wii or the Wii U. And, oh boy, it's going to be fun.
Do you think they'll remake that? Well, maybe not remake it, but port it?
Port it
eventually?
over to the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there has to be a reason why they didn't add it into this bundle. And if they are going to release it later, I feel like they would have done it for all of them.
True.
I feel like people who think that they're just going to release it either as DLC or as its own release, I think are probably being a bit over optimistic. And if they were going to release it, I feel like they would have mentioned it with all the other games that they're releasing over the next 6 months. So I'm not going to get my hopes up about it coming onto the Switch.
No, I could see that being a game later on, like down the line, that they remaster, possibly.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it, to be honest. Like, if they were going to do it, I thought they would have done it with all the other ones. Like, there's this big hype about Mario just now. Why would they wait? Or if it were going to release it in 9 months' time, would they not have just told us that? Because, like, we have announcements all the way through to, like, April, right? I don't know.
And I guess Odyssey is sort of the sequel to that series, so they wouldn't really need to revisit it. So yeah, never mind. I don't know.
I suspect it's probably along the lines of, we've got Galaxy ported, why would we need Galaxy 2?
When Galaxy was probably a better selling
I believe
game
Galaxy 2 has more... Yeah, and I believe Galaxy 2 has more motion control stuff, so that's more stuff they'd have to add in ability to do extra stuff with, because I think all of the motion control stuff you can do with either a button press or the touchscreen. And so adding in more of that would have given them more work. And if they didn't think it was going to actually add anything to it, it was just extra work for them for no real benefit. So I suspect that's the reason.
Yeah, it makes sense. That was also another game I never finished, Galaxy 2.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely get there eventually.
Exactly.
I'm very close, so I need to finish up Wii and then Galaxy 2. And then what have I got left? There is Super Mario Land, Super Mario World, which of course Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World. 3D World, of course, I'm going to wait for the release in February. And then I have not decided whether I'm going to play New Super Mario Bros. U again, because I have finished that game. And Super Mario Odyssey, I've played and finished both of those games. I've not decided if I'm going to play them again. I probably will, but I've not decided yet. I feel like to make the comparing all the games properly, I need to have them all done with roughly the same amount of time since I've done them. A maximum of a couple of months, so.
That could be a good Greenhouse episode in the future. Do you comparing all of them?
Yeah, well, I mean, I compared most of them last week.
Yeah, but it wasn't a complete set, was it?
It was not a complete set.
Exactly.
We'll see. So that's what we've been playing. We have some feedback. Thank you very much for the... Oh, for goodness sake, I never wrote down who it was. All right, okay. So this person's name on their review is just Heyday, but with 2 Y's in each name. So thank you, Heyday, for the 5-star review of the podcast. They have asked us to cover Heyday on the podcast. Eager listeners will actually remember that we have covered Heyday on the podcast. We covered it in September last year as one of our mobile farming games that we were talking about. So I will have a link to that in the show notes, but it's episode Year 1, Spring 19.
It's like called
Thank you very much for the review.
Microtransactions or something.
It is. It's called microtransactions. And that might give you an idea of how Rochelle felt about Heyday. No spoilers for a year-old podcast episode.
Yes, of course.
But thank you for the review. If you, dear listener, want to get a mention on the podcast, the best way is to leave us a review on iTunes or Podchaser or Spotify, I want to say. I feel like we have this discussion every time. Spotify may or may not have reviews. I
cannot help you there.
Leave us a review and we'll mention you on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, we're at that point and that size of podcast that basically anybody that says anything interesting about the podcast gets a mention. So it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feedback. If you would rather, instead of leaving us a review, if you'd rather email us, you can do that at the website, harvestseason.club, or you can just tweet at us at THSpod. We welcome all feedback. Shall we talk about some news?
Yes.
I have some very sad news for you.
Oh, no.
Farmville's finally dying.
Oh, goodness.
The original Farmville, still a Flash game on Facebook, will stop functioning at the end of this year when Facebook removes support for Flash games.
How dare they do that to
I know.
Farmville and other Flash games?
Yeah, all the other Facebook Flash games that we all care about a lot.
There was one. I don't know if it's I don't know what a Flash game is, but there was definitely one Facebook game I was obsessed with in college. Robot Unicorn.
Oh,
have you heard of that?
Is it like is it Robot Unicorn Attack?
Maybe there's
a different
definitely
game?
a couple of different versions of it.
Right.
It's
because I've played.
It's a platform.
On you go. Describe it.
Does that
Yeah.
sound familiar? You play it as
a platforming game.
Robot
Yeah.
Unicorn. There's wonderful music to it.
It is great. Yeah.
And you just try not to die.
I have played the second version of this game, which is on phones.
Yes, that's right. Have you played the version that turns into animals, though, or different other robots?
I don't think so.
It's quite fantastic. After a certain time, or after you collect so many dust things, I don't know, I forget. Fairies? You kill the fairies. I don't know. You eventually evolve into a robot saber-toothed tiger, and then a robot panda, and then a robot gorilla, and eventually, if you're good enough, you'll get to robot dragon.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it was a time.
Apparently, it is no longer available on iOS or Android.
Also sounds about right.
That's very sad.
It is.
So I hope you didn't want to play that game, listeners, because you can't.
No, I'm sorry. I wonder if I could re-download it. That's something I'll have to figure out later. Probably not, but yeah.
Yeah. There are lots of rip-offs of it,
Mm-hmm.
as usual.
If you
That's
want
really
the
sad that it's not
experience,
available.
I'm assuming you could just watch the music video titled "Always." I forget who it's by, but that song is part of the experience. I've taken us off track again. I am sorry. News.
That's all good. Yes, news. So that's Farmville. R.I.P. Farmville. If you want to play Farmville, there is obviously Farmville 2 and Farmville 3. Farmville 3 currently released not in my country. Apparently they're planning on doing it at some point. But yeah, it is available somewhere. I don't know where.
Not there.
Not here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it's America or whether it's somewhere like Japan or something.
I do not know.
Quickly, we're looking through this article. I can't see it. Anyway, so there's Farmville 2. I think there are 2 versions of Farmville 2, and then there's Farmville 3, which you can go and play now if you live in one of the countries where it's actually available. Or you could just play other better farming games. That's the other option.
Yeah.
The next thing is we have an update for Rochelle's favourite game, Women in Science. You love it, don't you, Bev?
That's all I have to say about it.
I still want to play this game at some point. I've just not made the time yet.
I,
But
I, yeah, I feel like I will, just, just to get, just to understand it a little bit more. But
you need to know something to be able to criticize it. That's certainly the
exactly,
case.
exactly.
I'm sure I think it looks great. All right. That's all. And the puns are there for a reason.
The art is fine. The art is good.
The zero point 0.4 update is out now. It adds buildings, 2 new animals, and the possibility to grow crops inside. So that's greenhouse, presumably.
It looks like a greenhouse, yes.
And it looks like you can build multiple greenhouses, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Oh,
Now we're getting to the real news items.
yeah.
Would you like to introduce this one?
Oh, yes.
Is that you actually looking at the list there?
Yeah, it was like the only link that I didn't have open. I was like, wait, that's not next. Why would I need to introduce this? Okay, so, Chibig, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're gonna go with Chibig.
We're going with whatever we want.
Yeah, exactly. Words are hard, and different for everyone. They they announced that Deiland, which is a game that has been mentioned on this podcast before a couple times, definitely by me, um, uh, is coming to
Yep.
Nintendo Switch. And
Woo.
Chibig is the developer for Summer and Mara, and Dalen is within the same universe as Summer and Mara, so you'll get to see some of these same characters that you knew and grew to love in Summer and Mara in Dayland. And yeah, it's not port. They're remastering it. They're adding some new things and like seasons, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So if you want to help support this, the Kickstarter link will be in the show notes. You can get a copy of the game for as little as €15 or whatever the equivalent is in your currency.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a million US dollars. I don't know. I lose track of currency conversions.
I don't know. This is gonna be another game that I have on 3 different platforms.
Yeah, I think I probably do have it on Steam already. But let's be honest, I only want to play it on the Switch.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
reason I haven't played it yet. So, yeah. Cool. Have you backed it yet?
Oh, yes. I think as soon as it went live, I was in there.
You got in on that early bird one?
Oh, yes, indeed. I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you can go back that if you want, or you can watch it and obviously buy it once it comes out. The plan is for it to come out in March next year. I'm presuming they must be nearly done with it. If they're that confident that it will come out in 5 months. We'll see. Summer in Mara was delayed by a few months,
Mm-hmm.
but that was a lot longer time frame for the Kickstarter. I think that was like 18 months between Kickstarter and when they were planning on releasing.
Yeah, and I feel like Summer and Mara is just a bigger game overall than Dayland.
Yes, yeah. And I think the key point here is that they're porting the game over and then adding new features rather than starting from scratch. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I'm hopeful that they can hit the deadline that they have set themselves. We will see. I will play it whenever it comes out.
Yes.
The next thing is Lemon Cake, which is a game we've discussed before, has a demo up on Steam, which will be gone by the time this podcast comes up. Sorry. It's a time limited demo, and I haven't played it yet. Have you played it? I know you
I
downloaded it.
haven't. I just downloaded it right before we started.
So that'll be a no then.
Yep. It's very cute though. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I've got it downloaded. I would definitely play it at some point, probably tomorrow. Definitely not during my work hours, though. Of course not. Why would you suggest
Of
such a
course
thing?
not.
God.
No, I don't.
The final piece of news is that I found another new game, which is called Everafter Falls. Um, and I don't know. It's got very cute animals.
It's
Um,
adorable. It's so cute. I don't know what's in it or what this is about, but I love the art.
so yeah, so it's definitely a farming game. They seem to focus on the farming aspect of it, but it looks like you have creatures that help you with that. So I've seen one of what looks like a cat digging up the ground rather than using a hoe, and then planting after that. So looks like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And your
Yeah,
house is a tree house, apparently?
yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
No. That's so cute.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't really know what to say about this. There's not a humongous amount of information about it yet, but it looks
Mm-hmm.
very good. I'm trying desperately to see if there's any information about when it's planning on coming out. Oh yes, 2021 to 2022. So sometime in the next 28 months.
Apparently you can sign up
So
to get beta access. That becomes available next year. Um, so
nice.
probably not this year. I will sign up right now.
Oh yes, definitely. Doing it as we speak.
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough games to play, obviously.
Never enough.
So that's all the news that we have this episode. I have been on holiday for the last 4 days, so we've probably missed something. But I'll just talk about that in the next episode. So, Bev,
Mm-hmm.
we are here today to talk about one thing. Well, lots of things, but the main thing is the Animal Crossing New Horizons Fall update.
Indeed, we are here today for that.
So we both spent loads of time not playing the game after loads of time playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And now we both got back into it with this update. Presumably, it's not 100% because I told you to, but also because the update looked interesting and you wanted to try it. Is that correct?
Yes, it is both. Definitely not just being told to do this for a podcast.
Good. Because let's be honest, if I just tell you to do things, you'd probably just say no if you didn't want to. Nobody ever does what I
No,
say.
no, I probably do it.
No, that's wrong. No, don't say that.
I'm sorry. I lied. I won't do it.
No, this is bad. Now you're just doing what I said.
Oh no, I did. I am sorry. I am hopeless.
So, cool. So, let's talk about this then. So there are some interesting things in this. I think the most interesting thing for me personally, because listeners to other podcasts will know that I'm not a humongous fan of Halloween. The most interesting thing to me is the growing of pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. I do enjoy that.
So there had been hints, as we've discussed previously, about farming coming to Animal Crossing, and this was the first one that we've got, which is very exciting. I think the interesting thing is it works very much like flowers. So you plant it, and then on the fourth day, there's a harvest, and you can harvest them, or you can just leave them. The interesting thing is they never spoil, so they're not like turnips. They will stay fresh as long as you want them to. I guess kind of like
Just
flowers
nice.
and trees and stuff. Like it's only really turnips that spoil.
Mm-hmm. And that's because they have a large monetary value tied to them.
Yeah. Imagine if you could just keep turnips forever and just keep stocking them up, and then that one
Oh,
day you get
goodness.
600, you'd sell all of them.
Oh no. That sounds like a pain.
It does. Where would you store them?
I don't know.
The interesting thing about this is that presumably this isn't going to be the only one they have, right? They're not just going to have pumpkins and nothing else.
Yep, because this is not just a holiday event. They're introducing it for the holiday, and you can only buy I guess, the starters for the holidays, but you can grow them throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah, and although you can only buy them during October, I think it was defined as October, you obviously could travel to... No, that wouldn't work. You can't travel to someone else's island because October is the same time everywhere in the world. Never mind.
No. Well.
Right, scratch that plan. You can obviously buy as many as you want just now and grow them later, so the seasons don't seem to affect it.
Yep, and since they don't spoil, even if you just drop it on the ground, you can always take one of those pumpkins and plant it, and that will be your new starter.
Yeah, so that is an interesting thing you bring up there, the fact that you don't have to... You obviously have to buy a starter to start with unless you get a pumpkin from a friend. But after that, you can just grow more pumpkins from the pumpkins you have. So you could theoretically buy one starter and grow infinite number of pumpkins.
Indeed. That would probably be the most cost efficient, not time efficient.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would be the most cost efficient. But let's be honest, we probably all have millions of bells now from all the turnips.
Yep.
But I guess the key point in this is that you can grow multiple pumpkins from, like, not just multiple as in you pick one and then it grows another, but you can also grow multiple at a time. So if you plant one and you water it every day, on the fourth day, you will have 3 pumpkins.
Yep. Or if you do what I did, you plant it and then you forget that you had them for 4 days. And then they grow, and then you pluck them, and then you water them for 2 days. You will still get 3.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I guess once you've picked one, you don't have to do 3 days of watering. You just have to do 2.
Which is nice.
It is nice.
And
because once you've plucked it, it goes back to the day 2 stage rather than the day 1 stage.
Yep.
So it's less time.
Yeah. So you can harvest 1 pumpkin, 2 pumpkins, or 3 pumpkins. And as Al said, if you water every day, that's how you get 3. But if you only water once during the growing period, you'll get 2.
Yeah.
And that's the difference there. So there's still, even if you have tried, there is still a reward for you.
Well, it's the perfect game for farming when you really don't want to water, right? Because you just plant it and you don't care about it, and they just grow.
Yep, it's great.
I love not watering my plants.
Yep, as someone who still hasn't gotten all of the flower colors that they wanted because watering is a pain. This is very nice.
I'm so close. I think I've got green mums to get, purple hyacinths, and blue roses. I think that's my only ones left to get. I'm so close.
I have no roses. I think I only have the black and purple roses, maybe.
Oh, I'm so close to getting the blue roses as well, because I put out nine sections of a field for different steps of getting to the blue roses. And I've had flowers from all the first 6. So I'm just about to get on to my 7th one, and then 8 and 9, and then I will have a blue rose finally. It just takes a long time because you have to actually wait for them to grow on each of them, and then sometimes it's not the right one you need, and then you have to start that section again. Oh, it takes so long.
I haven't even started that, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
But we're not talking about flowers. We're talking about pumpkins.
Pumpkins. Oh, pumpkins also come in different colors.
They do. Although sadly, they're not hybrids, which I love the idea of them being hybrids, but they're not hybrids, sadly.
Yeah, which is interesting. So like each starter is randomly assigned, I think, to a random color. And as soon as it grows, I think its first pumpkin, it's always going to be that color. So even if you pick it up and move it to another location, if you have a white pumpkin, that starter will still be a white pumpkin starter, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you plant a specific color of pumpkin, that will then turn into a starter that will always grow that color. So that's a good way to get. So if you want like all white pumpkins, for example, you plant a bunch, you find one starter has got white, you harvest those white ones and you plant them again, and then you'll grow more and more and more white ones.
Yep, I gotta work on my weights because I want that more of them.
Yeah, so it looks like the probability is about 70% orange and then 10% green, 10% white, 10% what's the other? Yellow?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
it's yellow, green, orange, and white, right? Yes.
Yeah. Or
Is that four?
orange is the
That is four. Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
We got a.
I'm confused.
I thought there was a black pumpkin for a
I need to
while, but
search again.
no, there's just nope. It's just the four of them.
White, green, oh, right. Oh yeah, orange is the main one
Mm-hmm.
and then white, yellow and green.
Yes.
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 Great. Well done, us. So
Indeed.
here's the key question for you. How many pumpkin plants do you currently have growing?
I
A
think I
ballpark
have
figure is fine. You
30.
don't have to tell me exact. 30.
Yeah, about
Okay,
give or
that's quite a
take.
few.
Yeah, because I just bought all the starters. Well, I bought I think 10 just to test them out, and then realize I'm gonna need a lot more if I'm gonna collect all the pumpkins that I need for this event.
Yeah, yeah. I have 80 plants currently growing.
Oh goodness. Well, that's
So
you're definitely gonna hit the number of pumpkins you need then.
hopefully, yeah, if I keep remembering about them. I left fully
Well,
grown pumpkins for 2 days, so I wasted a whole cycle there.
I might be jumping a little forward ahead, but I saw a video that said the number of pumpkins you need for just to craft everything is 80. So you're going to hit
Oh,
that unless you
nice.
make multiples.
Success.
Yes, indeed.
Success. Let's be honest, I'm not going to make many multiples, right? I'm going to make enough to fill a room full of stuff so that I can get more Happy Home Academy points, and then I'm going to not bother doing any more.
Mhm. Yep.
But I will get lots of pumpkins because I suspect they're going to be good to sell.
Hopefully.
Let me have a look. So obviously they cost 280 to buy a pumpkin starter from the Nooklings. However, did you know you can get them half price from Leaf?
Yeah. I think that's how I bought them originally.
I only found that out after I'd bought 40 of them, so I bought another 40 from Leaf.
Oh no. Oh no. I didn't realize
Um,
that until after I bought them and then saw a video that told me that I did the right choice.
yeah. So apparently you can sell one pumpkin for 350 bells. So if you get 3 pumpkins from a pumpkin starter, that's 1,050 bells minus the 280 that you bought them for. So that's a profit of 770 for one cycle. And then
Which
obviously
is
every other time after that, you're making 1,000 bells. And so 80 pumpkin patches that I have, that would be 84,000 bells per pumpkin cycle.
okay. So it's definitely
And
not as
then,
profitable, I think, in terms of time with turnips, but probably a little
well, except
easier
that
over
it's a lot
time.
easy. It's so much easier,
Yep.
right? So if
Yep.
you say, for example, right, these 80 pumpkins, every week you're going to sell them, you're going to sell roughly three times a week, right? That's 200, that's a quarter of a million in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, you can make a lot more from turnips, but only realistically if you're paying attention to other people. If you're not
Yep.
paying attention to who has good sell prices and then shifting them all over there, you're not going to get
Yep.
anywhere near a good enough price to get a quarter of a million, right? Like that's, and
Mm-hmm.
even if you can, you then have to store all the turnips somewhere for the week.
Yep. Whereas
So it
with
definitely
pumpkins, you
feels
can
like a
just sell
good
them
money making
immediately.
strategy. Exactly. Exactly. You go
Yeah.
pick them and then you go straight to the Nooklings and sell them.
Yep. Yeah, I like this as a nice. Now that I've hit, I mean, I think I have 12 million bells at this point. I do not need to step into the turnip, the stock market again ever. I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's nice, definitely a nice way to I think to maintain that balance if I need to.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need millions more, but just like a little bit extra every so often keeps you going.
Yeah.
Let's just double check. Cool. So yeah, that's a lot of money, I think. But I Also fun to plant, and because now it's a proper farming game, right? You can actually
Yeah.
do farming.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about them is because they're infinitely growable. It's just like a constant money making machine. You
It
don't have to
is.
spend money to make money anymore.
Mm-hmm. You've broken Tom Nook's island.
Yeah, he's going to come up to me one day and say, "Oh no, there's an outbreak of some horrible termite or something that seems to have killed all of the pumpkins on the island.
Yep. Yep.
Disaster."
Sorry.
So yeah, I'm liking this. I really hope they add more in. I they might add. I guess they could add something in the winter, but I guess the more realistic thing is we get a bunch more in the whatever the update will be in the spring for the 1 year anniversary.
Mm-hmm. I would,
I
if I
feel
had
like
to.
that's most likely.
Yeah, if I had to bet money, I would think that there would be one crop per season. But since you're limiting the sale of these starters during October, I could also see them eventually having 12 crops. 12 crops. One for each month. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, that
know.
could work. I said there's certainly going to be more. I wouldn't be surprised if we got more than one in the spring and none in the winter. Just because,
Oh,
like, it tends to be, well, like, most farming games, they tend to have almost nothing you can farm in the winter. There's always something, but it tends to be
yeah.
very little that you can do in the winter, right?
Mm-hmm. Although there's definitely things
So I
you
could
can't
see them just
farm in the
not.
winter.
Oh no,
In
yeah,
real
of
life.
course, of course. But why would games try and be like real life though?
I don't know.
I guess my point is, like, I don't think there's something that would work thematically for, say, a Christmas update.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless it's like
Um,
candy canes, but
can't grow them.
if we're not being like real life, I don't see why we can't grow candy canes.
um, I guess what could happen is they could be adding in things for, say, maybe there's a Thanksgiving update to tie in with American Thanksgiving, and you could grow potatoes and is it yams is quite a common thing
Yeah, I think
for
so. Hmm.
Thanksgiving. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Um,
They have time.
so I guess the other big thing is the Halloween part of it. So all throughout October, there are DIY recipes you can get for Halloween related paraphernalia, basically
Hmm.
all around jack-o'-lanterns.
Yep, and pumpkins. Well, yes, that is what a jack o' lantern is.
um, yeah. So yeah, lots of pumpkins in lots of different configurations. Have you got
Hmm.
many yet?
I've gotten a handful of at least DIYs, and I've been purchasing everything
Yeah,
that's been in the shop for the most part.
of
Um,
course. Yeah, yeah. I
although,
think I think I
sorry,
might be
go
wrong,
ahead.
but I think all the things you buy in the shop are ones you can DIY as well. I don't think there's
Yeah,
anything that's specific to the shop.
not that I've seen yet. So that could just be one method if you're not sure if you're gonna have enough pumpkins to
Yeah,
to buy them, I guess.
yeah. Um, I think
And
there's
they
a
are
few as well
customizable.
that are you can only get. They are, yes, they are customizable.
Hmm.
Is it just the different colors of pumpkins you can customize them to? I've not actually paid
Yep,
attention to that.
the different, all different four colors. So the orange is the default, the yellow, green,
Yeah.
and white. Although the whites is like monochromatic, and that's my favorite one, I think,
Oh,
which is why I need more white pumpkins.
interesting.
Hmm.
Um, there are a few of the DIY recipes that you can only get on Halloween itself, because as has discussed before, Jack is coming for the Halloween Eve event. Or I guess it's not Halloween Eve, Halloween evening, because Eve would mean the night before. Halloween evening event,
Mm.
which happens on, if I'm correct, 5 p.m. till midnight. I think it was.
Sure.
I think that's what it is. And Jack will come and give you certain things if you give him certain things, and the villagers will give you stuff if you give them sweets.
Oh, so speaking of that, the Nooks does sell one piece of candy that you can purchase every day.
Yes.
Only one. But that candy
Yeah.
you can use towards this event on Halloween as a way to
Yeah.
collect DIYs that you might have missed throughout the month, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, I believe that is the case. So I'm just double checking. Oh, apparently you can get a costume that looks like Jack. That's interesting.
Which is cute.
So if you give villagers candy during the event on the 31st, you will get lollipops from them. And then if you give lollipops to Jack, Jack will give you things in exchange for the lollipops.
But I believe there's some sort of loop that I think eventually Jack will give you more candy to give to. Yeah, I watched one video that kind of explained it, and I probably should have revisited that for this podcast. But there's, I think, a way to try to maximize the candies to get everything that you might have missed. I think this event would be a good way. Like, if you weren't active very, very much throughout the month, like, you should be able to get most, if not all. I don't want to say all. Most of the DIYs on Halloween. And there is some sort of... They are tracking which ones you do have, so you shouldn't be getting multiples, which is nice.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, and they have taken over like most of the ways of getting DIYs. So I've got them in balloons. I've got them from people in their houses. I think I got one washing up on the shore. So like it's not just one particular way to get them all. So it's reasonably easy to get them all. It just takes some time.
Speaking of, I haven't looked for my bottle on the beach yet.
Oh, I've done no Animal Crossing today because we got up in the morning, packed to leave, left, and then I spent the rest of the day lying on the sofa trying to just pawn my kids off with snacks. Traveling tires me out.
Understandable.
So the last Halloween-related thing is that there are some new skin tones and eye and hair colors, I think. Is that right? It's eye colors as well.
Definitely eye colors.
So you can make yourself... Just eye colors, not hair colors.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is, of course. Yeah, sorry. I remember buying them. I just, for some reason, thought there were 3, but no, there weren't. There were only 2. So yeah, you can make yourself green or blue or white but when I say white, I don't mean like white, but I mean like white, like ghost white.
Yeah.
Like you've lived in a cave your entire life, white.
Like you are a literal ghost.
Yeah. And what's the fourth? Is it a red? What's the fourth one? There's a fourth color.
I have not played with them yet. Because I looked at them and then didn't immediately see anything that popped out at me, so I changed nothing.
So it's white, the ghost white one, green, blue, and purple skin colors. Or they're more like they're calling them body paint. So it's not like skin colors, but they do appear like skin colors. They don't have a new system for that, but they're calling them body paint. And the new eye colors are pink, orange, yellow, neon pink, and light grey and teal.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Lots of colors. Which are obviously very useful for lots of people and creating lots of costumes. I don't have that sort of imagination to actually use them in a useful way, but of course I went and bought them straight away.
Yep. I want to make a zombie costume because of Zombies Run, but I haven't done that yet.
Are you going to turn yourself into, what was there's one of the old Runner 5, the one that died before you became it?
Spoilers! What? Which one? Oh, I would love to cosplay as... If I'm thinking, who are you? Wait, what? Who are you referring to?
I'm just referring to the one that is before you go in. So like, because you're Runner 5, right? But the point of you being Runner 5 is because a previous Runner 5 had died, right?
I see. So Alice.
I don't know. I did like 2. things and then decided I don't like running.
You do not have to run while you play it.
I know, but I
But
have so many
yes,
podcasts to listen to as well, all right?
this is why I haven't. This is why I'm behind on my podcast, because I've been only listening to this in the occasional audiobook. But yes, Alice Dempsey is the Runner 5 before your Runner 5. So maybe I could actually cosplay as her. Or I could cosplay as my own 5.
But are you dead, though? You can't be a zombie if you're not dead.
There's... So I have my own headcanon and created my own character that is Runner 5, and they have a twin who's... I won't get into because spoilers, but you know, maybe that could be a possibility.
Well, I look forward to finding out what you decide on.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously these have been great because loads of people have done lots of really inventive costumes that they've been posting on the internet. So that's all good.
Mm-hmm. I think the only way to get these costumes are Able sisters will have one set each day. And it's not going to be a complete set. I think it's just one article set, if that makes sense. But also,
Yeah.
what's the Australian what's that one character that comes on your plaza?
Kix.
Yes, Kix. You can get
Kix isn't
like, wings and
Australian.
stuff.
He's meant to be English, not Australian. But
Really,
yeah, he's meant to be.
I'm sure I've discussed this
Cockney,
and forgot.
which is
My apologies.
yeah. So he uses typical Cockney slang, which is from London.
Yes.
Just take my word for it. That is the case. Oh, but it's also like
Why?
Cockney slang that I think is from like Oliver and that sort of time rather than like modern. So yeah.
Okay. I can maybe do a passable Cockney accent, but I'm not going to do it this right now.
I would highly recommend not doing that.
Oh no, I won't.
Cool. So I think that's all the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait a minute. Apparently in Animal Crossing City Folk, in the US release he was Australian. And then the UK release he was Cockney.
So I was partly right. Maybe.
Well, I don't think
Maybe
that's the
he
case for
moved.
New Horizons, but
Okay.
well, there you go. Isn't that weird? Why the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an Australian person on the staff at one point, and they were very adamant about having Kix represent. I don't know.
Anyway, so the other stuff in the update is there's obviously some new seasonal stuff. So there's you can get acorns and pine cones from trees, and then obviously there's a bunch of new DIYs for crafting with them.
I have not found any yet because I do not like shaking trees.
You got to shake a tree while holding a net.
Yes.
That makes them much less stressful.
Yes, that is the exact formula for shaking trees that everyone must do.
Yeah. I have found, I think, something along the lines of 6 acorns. No, pine cones. 6 pine cones. And I have had 0 acorns. So I do find it interesting, and I think a lot of people have been complaining about the drop rates because they are very low. Like I've shaked all of my trees. I think I have 10 trees. I've shaked every single one of them like 16 times every day for the entirety of October, basically, and got just double checked. It's 11 pine cones and 0 acorns.
Yeah, I think I have like 17 trees or something odd like that, and I've shaken each of them once because I don't have the patience.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so low, because maybe okay, no, I suspect I know exactly why it's so low. It'll be because people complained about the eggs.
Oh.
So it's yet again the lose-lose situation, right? They put it too high and everybody complains that you can't get normal stuff. And then you put it too low and then everybody complains because you can't get them at all.
Ugh. But at least you could sell the eggs, right? You can't sell nothing that falls out of the tree.
You could also eat the eggs.
Yes.
They're very useful for that.
The eggs were a good resource. I don't know why everyone hates
They
them
were.
so much.
I agree. I liked them, but there was a lot of complaints about them.
Mm-hmm.
So just the usual sort of seasonal recipes. Go get your DIY recipes and try and get some pine cones and acorns.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get more next year. That's what everyone keeps telling me. It's a multi-year game.
Yeah, it is.
And I think the final thing in this update is that now, when you visit a dream island, you get saved to a list so that then you can go back and look at the islands you've been at and you can choose it from a list. So you don't have to remember all the code you put in if you want to visit them again.
I don't think I've done any of the dream stuff.
Neither have I, but I'm sure other people love it, and this is a very useful addition to that feature.
Yes, I will be looking into it after we log off.
So any overall feelings on the update before we finish off, Bev?
I mean, I'm enjoying it. Fall's my favorite season of the year, and it's kind of nice to have pumpkins as a crop, as the first crop. Like it's not something that I would have thought that they would have gone with as their first one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, and excited to, I think, start creating some of these Halloween DIYs. But yeah, overall, I think it partly brought me back in. And I think I will stay in. We'll try to. I will maybe time my plays so I don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can do that as well. Get into a regular basis of playing it, but I struggle to do that and other games. Like it's just like I have a certain amount of time that I spend, and I'm either going to do it with Animal Crossing or something else.
Yep.
But we'll
and just
see what
keeping
happens.
anything constant during this time is difficult.
Yeah, that's true. I think what I really need is like a dedicated Animal Crossing Switch, because part of my issue is like if I play a different game, I have to close Animal Crossing and then reopen it the next time I want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
That feels excessive.
I mean, no, I hate having to take out the cartridges and put it in a new game, considering how little time I spent in each game.
It's not even that. It's not even that, though. I have it digitally. It's worse. It's literally just closing the game and reopening it.
That might be a little excessive. Do you often not like save and log out?
I only do that when I'm going to. I only save and log out when I'm going to close the game for another game. That's the only time I do that.
That's probably why. I think do it pretty much as soon as I'm done for the day, which is not
interesting.
Yeah.
I need to buy one of the Animal Crossing limited edition Switches for my specific Animal Crossing Switch.
I was tempted, but I do not need another Switch. Do not need a dedicated Animal Crossing Switch.
I did, however, buy the Animal Crossing Switch Joy-Cons on eBay.
Oh, I need to do that because those are so good.
Very nice looking.
Yeah.
It's really bad. They were so nice. I can't believe I spent the money on them, but there we are.
I will be doing that too, so I am going to be joining you in that because I love
no judgment.
Pikachu one, but I hate these colors.
I think I agree with you on the pumpkins. I enjoy having them farming. I really want them to add more, though. It feels a little bit weird that there's literally one, but it might be they were just doing one to get it out there and see how people react to it before they put in the effort to do others. But yeah, I look forward to having lots of different crops that I'm growing, and I'm going to make it into a real farming game. It's all I'm going to do. Get rid of my villagers, just farming. Look, if I could get rid of villagers and not
Ugh,
have Tom just replace them with another villager, I would definitely do that.
I love them.
Anyway, let's not get into the Al doesn't like the villagers conversation again, because people just get angry at me. Yes, Stuart, I'm talking about you.
I mean, in this version, in this game, I see they lack their personality traits that people have grown to love them. So I see that and I understand that. And yeah.
You're giving me an out there implying that I wouldn't dislike them in other games as well.
Yes, I know this, but I'm still giving you the out.
Anyway, thank you, Bev, for joining me for this wonderful episode of We Talk About Pumpkins.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me pretty much
If people want to talk to you.
everywhere. Yes, and please do. You can find me pretty much on every social media platform as Bev Granger 711. That is BEVGRANGER 711.
You can find me on Twitter as the ScottBot, and as usual, Scott has only one T. If you want to follow the podcast, you can do that also on Twitter at THSPod. Please let us know what you think of our opinions, be they great or dreadful. If you would rather email us, you can do that from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find all of the show notes, the past episodes, and a link to our Patreon. If you want to support us, you can do it that way. We are very grateful for all the support we receive. And yeah, I think that's everything. Until next time, have a good harvest. Woo.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley, with support from our pro farmer level patrons, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening.
I really want to grow candy canes.
You know what I think they would work well as? Rather than like a plant like the pumpkin, I think it would work well on a bush, a shrub.
Oh, I thought as a tree. I want them as a tree.
I think shrub would work better than a tree.
Can you
personally,
imagine though
for
giant candy canes?
Wait. Whoa. Right, we're not. Why do they have to be giant?
Because they're a tree. Sorry, I'm really excited about